Hi, I'm Nick Thompson. I'm a farmer in Dumfries and Galloway. We're up at Summerhill today, looking at one of our 2 iron and pine units. We got them about a year ago up here at Summerhill, and yeah, we've started a holiday let business, which is going really, really well. My wife and I have discussed for years and years and years about renovating some of the old buildings on the actual farmyard into holiday lets, because we'd seen so many people diversifying. Nowadays, in this day and age, you can have to diversify in farming with the cost and everything. So yeah, we just had the conversation. Holly had the conversation with Iron and Pine. We're quite inspired by the units. I'm at the perfect place to put them up here on the hill with a view. So we just pulled the trigger. The process of working with Iron and Pine was pretty much seamless. We had a few meetings at the beginning where we saw the units, and we had a few meetings with the planning team who did all our planning for us. And yeah, then they kind of, once my wife picked the interiors and everything, they kind of just went to work. And then I think it was 2.5, 3 months later, we went in to see the units pretty much finished in the workshop, which was incredibly impressive. And then booked in a dry day, because the trucks were working on grass and stuff. They drove them in, dropped them off, made them watertight, and that was pretty much them done. And then a couple of days of painting and interior work, and yeah, all in from drop off to being ready, it was probably less than a week. So yeah, and there's always going to be little problems, teething problems with things, anything at all, the guys have been out that day to fix it. So yeah, would thoroughly recommend working on Iron and Pine. So as a farmer, a lot of the kind of biggest considerations was how we were going to get them up here. We live in the middle of nowhere. It's a big old track to get up here, so that was hard work. Where we're going to actually put them to get the best view, and also mean that I can still keep farming in the fields around them. Finance was a big consideration, but we managed to get that through. And then just the time of managing them, which isn't bad. There's some great tools out there you can use, and they kind of manage themselves apart from the cleaning side of things. But yeah, lots of different considerations, but I'd say where to put them, how to get them in, and the kind of running of them. I think the biggest factor that led us to Iron and Pine was the fact that they can be brought in on a truck. The idea of actually building something from the ground up wasn't going to really work, because Dumfries and Galloway is probably the wettest area in Scotland, probably the UK. So that idea of building being put off by weather was a big consideration, whereas when they came in ready to go, as I say, Luke and the team literally had them watertight within an hour. That was the kind of key for us that made it easy. How did it fit around farm life? It was a tricky time of year, because I was getting breeding sheep ready for market and stuff. But no, we were given loads of warning. The majority of the work was done in a day. So, they were here by 10 o'clock, so I had time to go around everything in the morning. And as I say, they were installed and watertight by the time the sun went down. And then they kind of potted away for 3 days to a week, and then we were ready to start moving stuff in and get people in. I think it was 2 weeks later. Adding the holiday lets to Summerhill Farm has added a whole new income stream. This half an acre of land here probably makes the same amount of money as the other 96 acres that are up here. So in terms of that, it's a no-brainer. People love to be in the middle of nowhere with a great view sitting in a hot tub. So we can't believe how popular it's been. But on a financial side, as a farmer, it's been the best decision we made. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's a couple of parts to the sustainability piece. The number one is the fact that it's built in warehouse where the people are not having to travel to and from here all the time. So, you're not wasting fuel, and, the economics of that is really good. The actual build itself is a repurposed container. So again, you're reusing stuff rather than buying new plastics or whatever it is. So on that side of things, it's really good. And the last part as well is it's an air sourced heat pump that heats it. So I mean, on the sustainability side of things, that's really good for the environment. Keeps our kind of cost low with electricity and everything as well. So, and you could go off grid if you wanted to. We aren't here at Summerhill, but you could quite easily with them. So the future of Summerhill Farms is under discussion. My wife hates the fact that without the complete emission, I come up with something else I want to do. We'd love to have a family unit. We've got 2 units here that have, are perfect for couples or couples with one child maybe, but we're thinking along the lines of having one double the size that could have 2 bedrooms in it, so we can have family units. My wife has already started offering farming tours, and we have started investing in chickens and pigs and things like that, so we can offer food from the farm directly to people as well. So yeah, there's a lot in the pipeline, but it's more about making the experience great for the people that are here and maybe opening the doors to having families, because I think there's a huge market there for kids wanting to come and see the animals and things like that. I'd say to any other farmer that's considering it is just bite the bullet. I know it's a cost, but as I said, this half an acre of land will make the same amount of money as the other 96 acres up at Summerhill. It's been the best thing we've done. There's a bit of work there, but in comparison to having cows cheap, it's a lot less. And it's really nice for people to come and enjoy the countryside as well. We live in a beautiful place. Everyone should get the chance to come and stay here. So yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer. If you're considering it, have a go.